Good afternoon, Nova Nation. It's WXVU Sports Director David Szczepanski. A little bit of a change of scenery here for today's preview video here on South Campus. Usually do a lot of my videos either on main campus or near the Finn. Not too far, of course, away from Lancaster Avenue, but I thought this was a change of pace, change it up a little bit. But Villanova, they don't really need to change things up. They've been playing really good basketball as of recently. We'll get to that in a second, but also you can see a lot of snow on the ground here. Beautiful sunset in the background too. So great spot for a Villanova men's basketball preview video as your Wildcats get ready to take on number 9 UConn, and this is the first time that the Huskies have been at the Finneran Pavilion since 2021, which was during the COVID season, so there were no fans in the building for that game. So the last time that UConn visited the Pavilion with fans in attendance, 1995. So we packed Finneran Pavilion here tonight at 6:30 p.m. to see Villanova take on UConn. Usually a lot of these games are in South Philly at the Wells Fargo Center. Of course, today here at the Finneran Pavilion. Villanova, they are 10-5. Coming into this game, 3-1 in Big East play so far this season. Villanova coming off a 100-56 victory against DePaul over the weekend. That 44-point victory by the Wildcats was the largest margin of victory in a Big East Conference game since realignment. So a really great win for the Wildcats. And obviously DePaul, they've been struggling, but when you beat any team by 44 points, that is definitely an accomplishment. Eric Dixon still leading the country in scoring with 25.9 points per game, pretty much 26 points per game. Dixon had 25 points against the Blue Demons this weekend. Jordan Longino, he had a career high, a great day for the Wildcats, 19 points. That was a career high, as well as 5 made threes, which was also a career high. A lot of other Wildcats also had good games against the DePaul Blue Demons. But UConn is definitely a tough customer, a much tougher team, and a much tougher task for the Wildcats than what they faced against DePaul a few days ago. When you look at UConn, they this season are 12-3. Their 3 losses came back in the Maui Invitational Tournament. They lost to Memphis, Colorado, and Dayton. 3 straight losses, but since then UConn has won 8 straight games. They're continuing to show why they have won back-to-back national championships, but they are going to be without their star freshman forward Liam McNeely in this game. On January 1st, DePaul and UConn matched up, and after that game for the Huskies, Coach Hurley of UConn announced that McNeely did suffer an ankle sprain in that game, so he's going to miss at least a couple, maybe a few weeks for the UConn Huskies. So he was averaging around 13-14 points per game, off to a great start in his college career, but Villanova will not face McNeely tonight as he is dealing with that ankle sprain. So really the top scorer for this UConn team is Alex Caravan, as the wind really picks up here, about 25-30 mile per hour wind gusts. I believe when I'm filming it, it's about 10 degrees. It feels like 10 degrees. I believe we're in the low 20s. But Alex Caravan is UConn's leading scorer, averaging around 16-17 points per contest. But then you also have Solo Ball, and he has really stepped up freshman year last year. He played in a lot of games for UConn, but he scored just about 3.5 points per contest. But this year, he's averaging around 13 points per game, so he's going to be one of the best players on this UConn team, one of the biggest players to watch out for. He is really their best three-point shooter. He's shooting 44-45% from behind the arc. And as a team, the UConn Huskies shoot around 43-44% from 3. They shoot about 50% from the field. They're a great offense. According to Ken Palm, they are ranked 2nd in the country in offensive efficiency. As I said earlier, ranked 9th in the country according to the AP Top 25 poll. So UConn, they're averaging 85 points per game. But their defense is the biggest thing I really want to focus on. UConn's defense this year, they're giving up 69 points per game. But when you look at what they have given up in the 4 games of conference play, yes, they're undefeated 4-0 in Big East play, but against Big East competition this year, they're giving up 79 points per game. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. As we know, Villanova's offense, they've been thriving, scoring 81 points per contest, so right close, right near where UConn has been throughout most of this year. And of course, we know that Villanova just scored 100 points, as I said earlier, against DePaul. So this is going to be a battle of 2 really great offenses. I don't expect much defense to be played today, but really it's going to come down to who can get more defensive stops, because we know that both of these offenses can score, and we'll see how UConn adjust without McNeely here at the Finneran Pavilion. Some other stats here too. When you look at the defense more for UConn, they're giving up or they're allowing opponents to shoot about 40% from behind the arc. So look to Eric Dixon, look to Jameer Brickus, look to Wooga Poplar to really shoot some threes here tonight. I think you can have some success against this UConn team. When you look at UConn and Villanova, I know that UConn is ranked number 9 in the country. I know that Villanova is unranked, but when you look at how they have played over the past month and a half, these two teams are very similar. Great offenses. Their defense are kind of average to below average. So we'll see how how Villanova and UConn fares today. This is going to be a fun one. I'm super excited. There's already a lot of people coming in here to campus for this game. Villanova and UConn coming up at 6:30 p.m. You can tune into our WXVU pregame show beginning at 6 p.m. Dominic Ricchetti and I will have the call. I do have my snickerdoodle in the car, so I'm going to eat that. I'll post some pictures on social media. So hopefully the snickerdoodle from Hope's Cookies can stay undefeated this season. Big win for the Wildcats against DePaul this week, and let's see if they can keep it up and get another statement win. When you think about their schedule, right, that huge win against top 15 Cincinnati, let's see if they can get another one here tonight against the UConn Huskies and shock the Huskies here at the Finn. Have a great rest of your day, Nova Nation. Hope you can join us tonight for Villanova and UConn at the Finneran Pavilion. Again, 6:30 p.m. tip-off, 6 p.m. pregame show. Stay warm, very cold as you can see with the snow cover behind me, and as always, go Cats!